Hey pilots, Drain Man here. Today I have a very special video. Today we are going to open up, unbox, take a look at, and also learn how to wire up this new sick, fast F7 flight controller by TransTEC. They just came out with racing frames and they've been hitting the market hard, flying right off the shelves. They were featured in Quad Box, and I think that's what got their name going and everybody knowing who they are. And now they've gone above and beyond and they have dropped an F7 flight controller, and we're going to check that out today. Alright pilots, so let's dive right in. We're going to go ahead and open this puppy up and see what we got. I hate to like scratch the box all up, but I'm gonna have to, huh? I'm liking this box. This is a really sharp looking box. It comes with like the frames on the side, and that's what their frames look like too. So alright, let's see what we get. First off and foremost, let's see what actually comes inside of the box, which I can't get open. Alright, here we go. Alright, so first thing we see is it's wrapped in a pink baggie. There's your flight controller. We got a little bit of cushion. We've got a box. And we have our connectors. So we've got two different connectors with two different sizes. We've got these lime green grommets, a rubber gasket, and we have a pin header. Let's see what else comes. We get, I guess, a packaging that lets you know what all comes on it. So let's go ahead and dive right into the board because that's what I want to see. I know that's what you guys want to see. Oh boy. Okay, so right away I'm seeing that they've already soldered on here for us. So let's go ahead and go over all that. I'm going to get you guys in a little bit closer. Alright pilots, so I went ahead and got it on a black background so we can see it loud and clear. And let's go over the pinout. Right away I'm noticing that this is like a flat PCB design. It's not all like that. So we're going to go over that in a minute. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So let's go over the pinout real quick. So what we have here is we have camera control. This is where you're going to connect to control your camera. The very next thing you have is you have your video in. So that's where you're going to connect your camera's video line right here. And I want you to also take note of these little indentations because this is a big plus when soldering up your wires for these small type of wires. The next thing you got here is your power for your camera. This is going to be based off of what's connected here. So if you have these two bridged to the side, which is what it comes as default, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to get 5 volts to this. So if you want more than 5 volts for your camera, you're going to unsolder this and then jumper this middle pad to this pad, and that is going to go ahead and give you your full voltage to your camera if that's what you're looking for. Then you've got your ground for your camera. You've got your video out, so that's where you're going to connect your video to your VTX. You have your TX5, so this is where you're going to solder up your smart audio or the white wire on your Unify VTX. The next thing you have here is also the VBAT, which this one here is based off of what you got here. So they went ahead and jumped this to full voltage. So if you're running anything that can't handle it, make sure you unsolder this and bridge these two together. So for example, the Unify V3, you would go ahead and desolder this and then solder these two together. The very next thing is going to be your ground here. You've got your ground for your video. So that takes care of your camera in, VTX out, everything's all set. You've got your arrow here so you know your placement for your board. We've got a boot button here. We've got our USB here. You've got motors 5 and 6 if you want to go ahead and run that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take a walk over here. This is an F7, so it does have the capability of 8 UARTs. So over here on this side, this right here is with the through holes, which they also give you. Let me grab it. They give you this pin header right here. This pin headers, go ahead and throw your receivers right on it. Your Crossfire comes with one. You're welcome to use it if it fits in your build properly. If not, just go ahead and solder up some wires. But this is where you're going to put your receiver. So if you're running your Frsky, like you have an XM or an XM Plus, you got your power and your ground, and then you can connect. If you're running your Crossfire, I mean, this right here, this is perfect. You've got your TX and your RX, then you've got your 5-volt and your ground, and then you've got your lemon connectors right here. If this is going to be for your Spectrum, if you're running Spectrum, and that's going to handle your receiver side. You do have an open UART, and you do have 3.3 if you need it for that. I mean, you've got it here too, and then you've also got a full UART and a ground. You've got your RSSI. I mean, this is really nice. This right here just, I'm excited to build this because I love how this is just all ready to go, nice in one spot. I'll probably never use this, but if something goes wrong with my board and I need to test and see if I'm getting the proper 3.3, bam, right there, baby. You've got another UART here, LED, 5-volt ground. You guys know what those are. You've got a full pad of VCC. You've got ground and another UART. I just love it when you're messing with these F7s. I mean, there's just tons and tons of UARTs. I love it. I love F7s. I don't really like flying nothing less. Let's go ahead and flip this guy over to where all the magic happens at, and that's right here, baby. All right, because it's an F7, you do not have to worry about inverting your signal. It will do that for you. You can see that right here. This is a F722 IC board. You've got your Betaflight OSD. You've got your MPU 6000 gyro. This is a 30 by 30 mounting, but I think you guys already caught on to that. Right here is where your real pit is for your VTX. So in order to do that, you're going to solder up your VTX here, and I'm going to show you. Now, you do have to unsolder this if you want to control your VTX. If you want to be able to turn your VTX on and off, you got to disconnect this. So you're going to unsolder this. Go ahead and wipe that clean, or go ahead and use some solder wick or something and get rid of this. Whatever's going to work for you if you want to do that. Other than the fancy flat top, you've got the indentations here to run for your stuff. Other than that, one big thing about this board, or something new, or whatever you want to call it, whatever it is to you. Actually, you can let me know down in the comments what you think of this. But this connector right here is facing in. So we're running an inward connector or a reverse connector, whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, you don't plug in right here. You don't plug it in like you normally would. If you're going to plug this in, you're going to plug it in this way, and your wires are going to run that way. Now, doesn't that make more sense for me to plug this in on my stack and then fold it over and have my wires tucked underneath rather than coming out the side where I'm going to break them off and ruin the connector pad? Right there, that's how that happens when you do that. And then you got to solder it up like this. So I think this is a big bonus. This is really awesome to have. It's very, very nice. Why not? All right, real quick, I want to go over your connector pad because you can see it. It's labeled right here. So you have your RX3. You have your current, motor 4, 3, 2, 1. You have your power and your ground right here. And all that's going to be happening from your ESC. So it's recommended to run this with a 4-in-1, but you don't have to. You can do it however you want. I recommend it though, because that's just what makes sense with a board like this. Alright, to use real pit, what you got to do is you got to desolder this. And after you desolder this, you got to go into Betaflight and set it up. I'm curious as to the firmware. Let's see what we got. Alright, so it came with 4.0.3, so the firmware is brand new. I'm noticing right away that my gyro is super responsive. I mean, bow, 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 bow. I like that. That lets me know right away that my computer's running good and also that the gyro is communicating well. I like that. CPU load is only 3% as expected on an F7. Alright, so I want to jump over here to the modes tab, and I just want to show you guys this because I talked about it and I want to make sure you guys understand it. So in order to control your VTX or to use real pit, you'll come right here where it says user 1 and you'll add a range and you will assign an auxiliary to it. I don't know which one you used or how you've set up the mapping on your controller or which auxiliaries you're using. This is how you'll set up for real pit on this flight controller. You'll just come here and you'll do that, and when you flip this switch off, your VTX will be off. And when you flick it on, your VTX will be on. It's TransTEC F7. So if you're running this board and you need to flash it, it's got its very own target inside of Betaflight. You'll be able to find it and you'll be able to set it up. Alright, let's pull this out. I want to go ahead and take a look in here. This is not something other guys are sending. At least I have not seen it yet. And I pretty much get all the newer flight controllers and I have not seen this yet. I'm thinking that right there is too cool. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think of that. I mean, look, I now have full protection for my USB. I don't have to worry about this getting hit. I don't have to worry about dirt getting in there. I don't have to worry about none of that. I mean, come on. Who's digging that? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of that. Overall, it is looking like a high quality board. It's looking really good and fancy. Everything looks like it was soldered up nice and neat. Looks like a well thought out design. I don't see any reason why this isn't going to be a very, very awesome board. I don't think many people know about it just yet. We're going to find out, see how that goes. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking. If you guys have any questions or comments or want to know anything else about this board, let me know. I'm going to slap it in a build, and I'll link that build video down in the video description once I do it. Other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.